Hello, my lovelies. Good to see you. Let me fix this a little bit. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Today, I want to talk about saying the thing that you need to say, right? So about a month ago, and I checked, it was a month ago today, I did a post on how proud I was of myself, of having made progress in keeping my mouth shut, right? And saying things and not saying the things that perhaps isn't best said at any given point in time, right? So I encourage you to go look at that. Hey, Lynn, good to see you. So this week, I'm inspired to talk about saying what needs to be said, right? So this came up with my clients this week in situations where they didn't say something that was on their heart, that was important to them, that they needed to say, and then as a result, it eats away at you, right? So which essentially means that we didn't establish or enforce a boundary, right? That's right. So one of my clients who's a really aware, really empowered lady, she recognized that, I had this exchange with a loved one yesterday, and I didn't say the thing that I wanted to say, or I didn't respond in a manner that felt good to me, because remember, our emotions are our gauge. They're everything. And so she was able to process, right? Take a step back, process, and say, you know what? I need to revisit that conversation, and then revisit that conversation, get the thing off her chest, and speak her piece, right? Calmly, respectfully, and everything worked out all right, right? So I had another client who has been, a newer client who has been keeping things all bottled up, right? So she's been in a situation where she's not been speaking up for herself. People in her life have been walking all over her boundaries because she hasn't established them, and she hasn't been speaking her truth. And as a result, she ends up having an argument with loved ones because she finally reaches a breaking point, and then explodes, and then says all the things, right? And all the resentment comes out, right? So the second example is an example of someone who has emotional baggage, right? And she and I are going to work all that. I'm going to work all that out, and I'm going to help her release that baggage with my primordial timeline process, which I'm going to share with you in just a moment. Information with that in just a moment. So anyway, but back to my second client who I'm just starting to work with, she's got all this stuff pent up, all these things that she hasn't been saying to family members, friends, coworkers, right? And then this results in suppressed and pent up negative emotions, right? So in her case, it was mostly anger and resentment, right? Like she's angry that she's been having, that she's been doing these things that she doesn't really want to do for people, and that she's not said things to toe the line, right? So in our work together, I'm going to actually take her through the process to release those negative emotions so she can have those conversations from a place of calm. And then I'm actually going to teach her how to, the appropriate language, the appropriate time to have those conversations, and then the appropriate language to have those conversations. So I just want you to take a moment and reflect, right? So this was coming up for me and my clients. Is this happening to you? Where are you in this spectrum? Are you keeping things to yourself that must be said? Do you have a lot of pent up baggage because you haven't been speaking your truth for some time, right? Because that's what happens, right? So we have all this emotional baggage, all this pent up, right? When we don't say what we need to say, right? When we don't get things off our chest, when we don't establish and enforce boundaries with the people in our lives, we end up harboring negative emotions and resentment. And when those things go unchecked, they result in bad behavior at best, bad behavior, at worst, serious illness, because those emotions get trapped in our body and they can result in illness in a nutshell, right? So in the effort to keep this short, I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm going to assume that this feels true to you and you know that this is the case. So what do you do instead, right? Well, my Sync Your Soul program is coming up. I'm going to start sharing details with that soon. So look for that. And I'm actually going to take a group of women through this process. And we're going to talk about where you are not speaking your truth and how you can start speaking your truth, how you can expand upon speaking your truth if you're already on the path of empowerment and doing what's best for you, and everywhere in between, right? It's a journey that I'm eager to go on with you and other ladies together. So in the meantime, what can you do, right? I'm going to invite you to meditate on a regular basis, do your own release work, right? So if you're not familiar with my primordial timeline process, journaling is a good way to do release work. And essentially, my loves, you know that our emotions want to be felt, right? So allow them to come through, allow them to be felt, look at them, be the observer, and then learn the lesson, and then let them go. And again, these are all things that we're going to be doing in my Sync Your Soul program coming up soon. So just a little something to take you into the weekend, right? What conversations do you need to be having this weekend? Think about that and plan that accordingly. And I hope this serves you, right? So I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Look for my Sync Your Soul programs. Wherever you're watching this, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't yet, like my page if you haven't yet, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, I'll see you in the gap. I love you. Mwah.